Hey, fourth graders. So this is your Friday math video. It's a continuation of problem solving division using the expanded notation method and the place value section model. We worked on it yesterday. Today we're going to go between the expanded notation just so that you can see it again. And we're going to increase our digits in the place value section model. So we're going to go on to 4 digits, which is new for us. I'm going to be starting, I'm going to share it right now. I'm starting in our regular math workbook, the thick one. So I'd like you to get yours and follow along with me. I'm on page 105. I'll write it up here at the top because it's really small on the bottom. So go ahead and turn to page 105. And we're going to do 2 on this page together. And then I'm going to go between our homework remembering book so that I can do some longer 4-digit problems with you. Okay, so here we go. Problem solving with 3-digit quotients. Okay, quotient, remember, is the answer when we're dealing with division. So the directions for this page is we're going to use the expanded notation method for division, okay? You'll see here, this is the symbol that we're going to be using. You'll notice that we are not using the place value section model for these. This is going to just be the expanded notation, okay? Got a lot of room on these pages, so we're going to do number 7 and we're going to do number 10 together. And then you'll have 2 more that you can try on your own. Okay, so let's look at number 7. A toy company has 740 games to donate to different schools. Each school will receive 4 games. How many schools will receive games? Okay, let's go look at that. I'm going to start to highlight some important information. I have my total here, 740 games. That's what the company has. Now, a number of schools that we don't know yet will receive 4 games. So we have to find out the other factor, which is how many schools. That's the question. So let's set this up, okay? I've got one of my factors, that's 4, and I have my quotient, that's my answer. So remember, the total in division goes under here. So we read this, 740 divided by 4. All right, let's get to it. Expanded notation. So remember, I'm thinking like place value, like that model. 4 times how many hundreds can get me really close to 700 without going over? Okay, thinking about that. 4 times what gets me to 7? I'm going to do a 1. And I'm going to make this 100, right? So I'm just imagining this is how my place value, you'll see as we go on there. Okay, so when I go backwards, 4 times 1 is 4, and we're in the hundreds, so we bring our zeros also, because 4 times 100 is 400. Let's subtract to see what we have still left to solve, okay? So we've got 340. Now we're going to move to the tens place. So this is where we're going to be building our expanded notation up here on the top. This will turn into that missing factor. This will be the answer up here. Okay? So now I'm thinking down here, I'm thinking, well, 4 times what can get me really close? 3 is not big enough, so I have to let out another digit. So 4 times what gets me really close to 34 without going over? I hope you said 8. So remember, I'm in the tens now, so I have to put one more 0. So that's 80. 8 times 4 is 32, and we have a 0 because it's the tens place. Okay, let's subtract. 0 and 2. All right, I'm going to the ones place, right? That's going to be my last one. I have 20 left. In my mind, I'm thinking 4 times what? What one-digit number can get me really close to 20 without going over? This one should be easy. I hope you were thinking 5. Let's check. 5 times 4 is 20. And when I subtract, let's see if there's remainders. There are no remainders. Now I need to add up my 3 numbers, 100 plus 80 plus 5. Remember, it's just the places, 185. That is the missing factor. That's the answer. Those are my 2 factors, okay? So when it asks how many schools will receive games, 185 schools. So remember, they were giving games away in groups of 4. So if I wanted to check this answer, I should be able to multiply my 2 factors, and I should get the quotient, the total games, which is 740. Let's give it a check. We'll multiply the 2. 5 times 4 is 20. I carry the 2. 4 times 8 is 32. 33, 34. Carry the 3. 4 times 1 is 4. 5, 6, 7. 740. That is the quotient. That was the total. So it checks. Okay? This weirdness up here on top, that is showing the expanded notation method. That's what that is. And it kind of blocks this. I'm going to highlight in a different color. But there's your division symbol. I'm sorry for the blurriness. Okay, let's try another one using the expanded notation. Let's go down, as we said, and try number 10. An adult lion weighs an average of 375 pounds. A lion cub weighs an average of 3 pounds at birth. How many times more does the adult lion weigh than the lion cub weighs at birth? Okay, so we've got a total amount. This is our quotient, total of the adult. And then we have how much one weighs at birth. So we're trying to see how many times more. Okay. Got my quotient, 375 pounds, and then 3 pounds at birth. So I'm trying to find out how many times more this adult weighs. Let's plug in what we know. 3, that's the size of 1, right? 1 group. Here's the total. Okay, I'm going to highlight this division symbol. So the way we would read this is 375 divided by 3. Okay, and we're going to use the expanded notation. Here we go. So we're asking ourselves, remember we have 3 digits, which means we're going to go into the hundreds for this one. This one will work. So we'll start with 1 digit. 3 times what can get you really close to 3 without going over? That one's really simple. I hope you said 1. And remember, this is the hundreds place. Okay, so now we go backwards. 1 times 3 is 3, and we're talking about hundreds, so we put our 2 zeros down. Let's subtract and see what we have left. 5 and 7. Okay, we're moving to the tens place. So I can already put 1 0 to represent the tens. Now I'm thinking in my head, 3 times what gets me really close to 7 without going over it? I hope you said 2. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6, and we're working in 10, so it's really like 20 times 3, right? So we added the 0, that's 60. Let's subtract. We have a 5 and a 1. All right, and we've got one more left. We have the ones place, so it's 1 digit. So I'm talking to myself. 3 times what gets me to 15 without going over it? I hope you're knowing that that's a 5 because 5 times 3 is 15. We'll subtract just to see if there will be any remainders. There are not. And now to find that missing factor, we have to add these 3 parts sections together. Okay, 100 plus 20 plus 5. I hope you're seeing the place value. That's why I'm not even making another whole equation, because I can just see it right there. So 125 is the missing factor. 3 was one of the groups. So remember, if we want to check, we should be able to multiply our 2 factors, 125 times 3, and we should get our quotient, 375. 5 and 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. 3 times 1 is 3. 375, 375. Checked out. That means I got it right. So here's the answer. How many times more does the adult lion weigh than that baby lion cub? It weighs 125 times more. And that's the answer. Okay? So again, this is that expanded notation. This is what it looks like when we build it up on top by sections and its place value. We will be moving away from this, but it's just kind of interesting to do it this way. It might help some of you. All right, I'm going to stop this video and I'll be back for video 2, which will be 4-digit division.